that going? No, that is not. No, check, check, check. All right, so there's the microphone. Move this over here. Okay. Okay, let's try that again with the microphone going. Check, 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 check. Okay, that is working. Good. All right, microphone check. How are we doing? I am heard.
You do another check. I'm gonna unmute my YouTube to make sure.
Hey, you can. That's interesting. I can hear you through my speaker on my desktop. If I should lower the volume on speaker. Actually, let's do this. For the purpose of this particular presentation, I will swap to my headphones for, or to avoid that. All right, we'll get started here now. A minute or two. Could have sworn I just looked at my clock and it was 11:45, and suddenly it was 11:59, and I was like, "Oh, I should probably pay attention." Mhm. Let's see here. There we go. I have my I have the presentation playing on my phone, so I can actually see and hear it, so that I know that things are working. But well, hi friends. So yeah, so we'll get started here. It's as I said in the email, this is going to be a brief. I shouldn't say this is going to be a brief. I say that, and then we still end up talking for over an hour because I'm me and I talk a lot. But hello, friends. For those of you who don't know my face, I'm Matt. I'm Matt Goins with the WiscWeb team. Um, uh, oh yeah, sorry. My mic. I, it works great in some applications. It doesn't work great in other applications. Apologies. Here, I'll put her right there. So I'm Matt Goins. I'm obviously with the WiscWeb team. I'm the client engagement specialist. I do a lot of stuff with all of you in relation to support, communications, general stuff like that. So, hi. I figured since this was going to be a light agenda, I'd just throw my camera on so you guys can see me and again put face to name and face to voice as well. So, just quick click on some things to get stuff out of the way. So, so we'll go ahead and get going with the agenda. Um, I have some of the other WiscWeb folks also in a Teams channel with me, so we will um, uh, maybe hear from them from time to time. Sorry, distracted by the chat. Um, So, first update, you may have seen in the email that came out this morning, we did a small UW theme release this morning. Again, nothing too dramatic for that. We updated some table styles that were lingering just in relation to font on page versus font in tables and how things are being defined. Um, so we just did a small update to make sure that we were trying to be consistent with those. And then we also updated the, I guess it's a plugin, the plugin that we use, the Advanced Custom Fields plugin, which is what we use to build all of these various page elements that you see when you're building out your pages. So we did an update to that to make sure that we were keeping consistent with that. The ACF one, that's the one where we want to make sure people are taking a look at their content as they are either updating or building things, just to see if there's any weirdness going on for that. Let's see. And that was really it for the theme update. A lot of things that we are tinkering around with right now is sort of like end of year upkeep stuff to make sure that we're just keeping up to date with a lot of the things that we want to keep up to date with, which leads me into um, the next one. You should hear me. I'm gonna have to put my mic like literally right here while I'm trying to read my notes. So now you can't see my face. um, yeah. I don't know if it maybe on your end, Linda. I don't know. Anyways, leading into, I'm gonna spend more time doing tech support on myself than I am actually going through this meeting. Um, the next update that we want to make people aware of, and for those of you who also host things within web hosting, you may be familiar with this process. But one of the major updates that we have been testing over the last several weeks into the last couple of months is updating our WiscWeb hosting service on AWS, updating that to PHP version 8, um, just to make sure that we are staying in line with that. That's something that's been going on for quite a while outside of WiscWeb, but given the size of WiscWeb, we have to sort of do this at a slower roll. But we are planning on doing our PHP updates on November 16th. So that's next week. We're going to do that rollout. Again, we've been testing it in dev and we've been testing it in our dev and our QA environments, which are okay. And, everything's been working as we assume it's going to work. Everything gets different when we push things to production. So I'll send out a message next week to kind of update people about the fact that we've run through that upgrade. But that's definitely one of those things where we're going to want people to go in and poke around and see if anything is weird, if anything is broken. Um, it it I guess I'll yield the floor to Jenna on this one a little bit. It shouldn't affect your external sites themselves. It will affect potentially internally, um, but I guess we're gonna push it out, and we assume everything will work as we have been expecting it to, as we've been testing it to. So I don't know if you want to say anything, Jenna.
Yeah, so I think you basically covered it. I mean, you might see something like errors on the actual page or in WiscWeb. If you had trouble logging in or making an update or something, that would all be things that we would want to be aware of. Um, I know Scott is writing right now, so I have a feeling that he might have other notes as well, but we'll keep you posted on if there's anything else.
He's
Oh,
just
looks like
confirming that he
he's
can hear me.
confirming the audio. Yeah. Yeah. So mostly just keep an eye out. Make sure things
Yeah.
are working as expected. Thank you.
Nope, nothing about PHP 8. Okay, so yeah. So just like I said, we don't anticipate anything breaking because we've been testing it for a while, but we've tested lots of things in the past, and there's always there's always something that we didn't think about testing that you, our users, do on a regular basis that we just didn't foresee. So like I said, I'll send out the message. We'll keep an eye on things, and then we'll go from there. But we don't anticipate anything happening, but just keep an eyeball on it. So those are the two big major updates coming up soon or have happened, as in the case of the theme release. I don't. I should have wrote this down, Jenna, as well. If you could remind me, do we have another theme update happening yet this year?
Nah.
Nah. Okay. I
No.
just wanted to make sure.
There's potentially core. So WordPress core came up with an update very recently. We usually
Yeah.
give it about a month because they tend to find little maintenance updates they want to make, or maybe even security fixes. So we usually give it a month. That also allows us time to do testing if needed. And we are looking tentatively around December 7th, I think, for that
Okay.
one, but no UW theme.
All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to move some notes around here because I wanted to bring this over so people could see it as well. So here are my notes for today, and I just kind of wanted to highlight this so you could see it, as well as the fact that I'm going to chat about it as well. So hopefully you all remember, and if you don't, I, this shouldn't be the first time you're hearing about it, but we are making moves to change the way that we handle embedded content. That has to do with more of our historical sites. We have a number of sites that, when we moved to WordPress, we had to make some accommodations um, in lieu of WordPress security. We are going to change the way that we handle that with embedded content. I've sent out plenty of messages. We've talked about it in past lunch and learns. Jenna's done a session on it with talking about like how to accommodate some of those things. Um, but we have decided on January 12th, 2023 is going to be the date that we are going to make that final change, that update to embed codes. Um, again, uh, that is one of those things where we are, um, we want to stay in line with WordPress, I guess, core security, um, and sort of keep the service safe, keep the servers safe, keep all of your sites safe, kind of thing. So we're going to make that change on January 12th, 2023. You can still go to our customer support form and request a scan of your site for the specific tags. Again, the specific tags that we are looking for end up being, and I'll just kind of type them in here so you're aware of them. Iframe tags, script tags, and style tags by themselves. So we had this conversation in the past, and we had overlooked this one in particular, but so if you have something along the lines of a p style equals, background color is, we'll go with white, but that would be bad. This will still work because it is a oh, I can't think of the right word, but it is affecting the p tag itself. It's not a style section. It's not an embedded style sheet or anything of that nature. This is inline styles. So this by itself is not going to work. This will still work. So just to kind of show you the difference there. So again, to emphasize and reiterate, January 12th is when we're going to make that change. We've been hammering this home. If you haven't yet gotten out in front of this, please contact us about your embed code scan for your site. And again, there's a knowledge base document. Jenna, could you give me that knowledge base document, please?
Yeah, which one are you looking for? Like the
The what
background
the
on the decision?
n- well, I guess you could throw that one in the chat as well, but also
Yeah.
if you could throw in the site that has like the list of affected sites
Oh
or
yeah,
potential.
definitely.
I shouldn't say that. Sorry. Let me really reiterate that. Potentially affected sites, because just because
Yes.
your site appears in that list that Jenna's going to link to, it doesn't mean that you actually have embed codes on there that are going to be affected. It's just a matter of these are the sites that were grandfathered in and that could potentially be affected by um, this. So, like I said, Jenna's going to put those links in the chat. Again, if you have any concerns, reach out to us either through the support form or drop us an email um, through our usual means
And I'm
there.
just gonna note that script style and iframes are the most common, but
Yeah.
technically there are some other tags that wouldn't work as well. Those are listed in that second KB doc that I had there. Some of those are like input form. Um, I think
Mm-hmm.
span, there's a caveat. Span tags that use the style attribute will still work.
Yeah. Because I think that might be an HTML thing in general, like an empty span tag.
Mm.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Depends. I don't know
There was
HTML, man.
something else I was going to mention. Um, I think the big thing is, you know, we hope that you've been proactive in requesting an embed code scan. Yeah, so the only ones that we're scanning for in your scans are iframe, script, and style. We don't have like form and input in there, just because they were lesser used in
Yeah.
general. But we could certainly, take a look at anything if you think you have anything. Um, Basically, if you've been proactive, you've requested an embed code scan, you've updated your content, you should be good to go. If for some reason, once this change is made, your content breaks, we do have some workarounds, at least in the short term. Um, so it's not the end of the world if you had something, but we definitely want to get folks using our recommended approach, which is basically just placing in the URL of the approved tool. And then one just quick thing, if you have feedback for us, so we're new to, and not necessarily new, but we're trying to improve our communications, making sure that these major changes that we're making, we're communicating them in a way that is easy to understand and follow. I mean, a lot of these things are highly technical, so it's tough. But looking for feedback on how we can improve, our change management process in terms of communications to users. So if there's a way that you would like to see us um, maybe communicating this via email, if there's multiple locations you want to see it in, if maybe we need more clarity around the technical stuff, all of that would be helpful for us to know. We do have more things coming up in the future that we want to make sure it's really clear to folks, like how they're impacted, what they need to do, things like that. So definitely we welcome feedback there as well.
So I pasted those in the you pasted them in our chat. I pasted them in the um, stream chat. So they're there now. So those are the two documents we were talking about. Okay. Dun 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 dun.
Matt, Scott had one more
Hi.
note, which
Did
is,
he? Oh yeah, he did. You're right.
yeah, I don't know if you want to just
Um,
go ahead.
so it's worth noting that once this change goes through, you may still not see the affected edit. I should say that the affected tags until you go in and try to update that page specifically. So the strip out happens when you go to edit the page. Um, so you might not notice it. You might look at a page and go, "Oh, my iframe's working just fine. What are those guys talking about?" The moment you click edit page, it happens. It's gone. So you'll see it then. You know, Scott, if you wanted to join in, you could join in. Okay. Any other questions on the embed code stuff, the embed code aspect of all this? I do like the embed again concept. Okay. Um, just a general reminder about the fact that we have hit November in case you hadn't noticed in the 70-degree temperatures. We're in November now, which again ends today because woof, the next week. So we're getting into holiday time, so we wanted to make sure you guys were aware of some updates for our timing of things coming up. So obviously there will be some time when we will have limited support during Thanksgiving time and over the Christmas holidays, Christmas to New Year's, etc. So just be aware of the fact that like if anything comes up, we will try to address it as best as possible. If it's not something that is um, like a site emergency, we will likely get to it in a timely manner. But just be aware of the fact that we will be low on support during Thanksgiving time, and then over the well, roughly a little over a week and a half of the whole Christmas holiday thing that'll happen there. Um, so in lieu of that, one of the things that we really wanted to make sure that we make everybody aware of, and I'll be sending a reminder about this out next week. But for those of you who are working on WiscWeb sites that have not yet launched, the last day to request a site to launch for this year will be December 2nd. The last day that we will launch sites will be December 16th. So any of you who want to launch your site prior to the new year, you need to get your requests in by Friday, December 2nd. The last day that we will launch them will be Friday, December 16th. Otherwise, any launch requests we get after December 16th, or I'm sorry, December 2nd, we will be pushing those back to after the new year, after everybody's back and we're back up to full staff. And again, the launch process, we have to work with different teams to make that process happen. So that's why we really have to put a final date on that, because there are other teams that also have staffing limitations during this time frame. So we just want to make sure that we're setting a date. That's it. Sites requested to launch after December 2nd will go out to the new year. Last day will be December 16th. That's it. That's the list. A few other brief reminders, just because I want to make sure that you all are aware. Bing bang. And it's humorous. I joked with Jenna about this. It seems like every time I have a lunch and learn, um, our office hours get uh, populated pretty quickly, but we do have our WiscWeb office hours. You can schedule a time to meet with me, which is usually Friday mornings. You can schedule a time to meet with Jenna, which is usually Friday afternoons. We are happy to accommodate as best we can, but um, just this is our dedicated time for that. You can go to our office hours page underneath support and you can schedule a time with us. I meet via Zoom, Jenna meets via Teams. The world moves on. There is a WiscWeb training course for those of you who are either new or you are onboarding new people and you would like them to get a little bit of training. There is the Canvas training course. It is the basics. And then I'm going to copy and paste quite a few things into here, so apologies for the spam. I also wanted to make sure that I make you all aware of our various communities of practice, which is the digital accessibility community of practice, the design community of practice, and then our WordPress users group community of practice. The last one is a link that takes you to a Teams channel. So for those of you who are not there yet, you could join that. We talk about different things in there when it comes to WordPress in general, not specifically WiscWeb. There are a number of people in there who are not WiscWeb users who have opinions, thoughts, things of that nature. You will see Jenna and myself chat there as well from time to time. So I wanted to make sure I put those out there. Let's see. What else is in the notes? Oh, so this is one that I've been hammering quite a bit over the past, well, the past year, I feel like, and it might be even more than that. Please, 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 please make sure that you are attending to your Google Analytics updates. For those of you who use Google Analytics and use the Universal Analytics, make sure that you are updating to Google Analytics 4. This time frame would be a pretty good time frame to make that change because you could make a clean cut at the end of the year and start anew at the beginning of the year. Google will stop collecting data and reporting on data July 1, 2023. The data that had been collected versus via Universal Analytics will be available until at least the end of the year of 2023. So I've had many conversations about Google Analytics. I'm happy to have many more, but I haven't had nearly enough, I feel like, for the people who do use Google Analytics who really need to make this change. And there's no way for us to go in and tell you individually. So, make the change. That's that's it. That's the end of the statement. Make that change. Um, dun, 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 dun. Let me throw our feature request board in there. For those of you who want to submit any feature requests or look at the status of any of the feature requests that you have submitted. Again, we have made several significant updates over the past several months. Some of those directly from the feature request board. We're more in internal update mode right now, just getting ready for a few other things that we're working on down the stretch. So, updating ACF, getting PHP, getting ready for PHP 8, and then eventually moving to PHP 8. Yeah. All right, Jenna, anything else to touch on? Any questions that you all might want me to touch on before I
Can't think of anything.
adjourn the meeting? All right, I will yield the floor to the floor, I guess. Any of you have any specific questions you want us to touch on, etc.? I feel like we'll have a good after the new year. We'll have to do another I think we showed data last year. We'll try and grab some more data for everybody from this year, just to kind of show what our overall service views were, etc. Most popular page, which is no longer the semicolon page, which is very surprising. But the Writing Center still holds strong in the top 5. I think they have 2 or 3 of the top 5 pages. Um, let's see. No pressing questions coming in from the masses. One other thing I wanted to touch on: we haven't decided yet. We haven't finalized what we're gonna do, but our hope is that we are going to have a an in person lunch and learn to kind of close off the year in December. Right now, our lunch and learn is scheduled for December 8th for the final one of this year. We may bump that back to December 15th because one of those 2 days, we as a team are going to be on campus. We're starting to do this every few months where we get together as a team to do some planning and some general, just I guess just team building type stuff. Um, uh, So we'll communicate out about that once we get to a decision point on that. But either December 8th or December 15th, we will have an in person lunch and learn. So we'll have a meeting room. I'll still stream it for those of you who aren't going to be on campus or who don't want to make the trek over to wherever it is that we're going to hold this lunch and learn. But we'll also be in person. So you know, we like a community. Um, Nick, have you? I don't know that there's a service that. Mm, I know when she was here, Sandy Arundel-Kowski from the Center for UX, she was involved with that process. She is no longer with. She's no longer here at the campus. I don't know that they have anything in place. You could certainly reach out to the Center for UX. Um, and Leah, I think it's Leah Bowers, who is right now the accessibility person there. You could reach out to them and see if um, they have any guidance on that. We obviously don't because that's a specialty that we're just not. That's not our thing, unfortunately. Other than encouraging you to do it. um, but I don't know on campus if there's a specific service that does it. Outside of campus, I really have no guidance there. That might be something. I know you. I know you attend the accessibility community of practice. That might be something to pose to that group as well, because Ruben might have um, some insight into that. Ruben or Al uh, might have some insight into that as well. So that might be a good group to take that thought to. Um, okay, so we talked about that. We talked about that. I don't know. I don't want to belabor it. I like talking to you all, and as I said, I like talking. So that's usually never an issue for me. But I don't want to. I don't want to keep you all for any longer than we have necessity for. But yeah, I guess just oh wait, Sheena, transitioning to Google Analytics. Um, I guess in the simplistic way of saying it, I can help you. So if you want to set up some time with me to chat, I'm more than happy to work with you on that. Um, so yeah, just reach out to me and we can chat about like what the process should look like, what your options are, things of that nature. In previous meetings, we talked about QR codes. Yeah, I know the WordPress users group. Rich had done a presentation on QR codes and how to do them. Uh, Microsoft now gives you the ability to make them in Word. That's interesting. Which in turn you could subsequently put them into PDF. But yeah, for those of you who aren't aware, QR codes, you can create QR codes that when scanned by a phone or other device, like your phone camera, um, can lead people to a specific URL, and you will see them on a number of promotional flyers and posters around campus. You'll start to see them on web pages. Um, yeah, so they are another marketing tool for you to um, encourage and navigate people towards the URLs. And subsequently, if you have a specific URL that you are directing people towards, that's something that you can dig out of Google Analytics and track how effective that particular page is doing. How effective it is, I should say. Okay. All right. Yep. So we'll just kind of call it there. As always, you all know how to reach out to me. You have my email address. Never hesitate to get in touch with me if you have any issues, if you have any questions. If it's something that's a little bit bigger, as in like my page is broken, or this particular thing isn't working, we would really prefer you to send that to our help at doit.wis.edu email address, mainly because that helps us track it and document it better than just emailing me directly. But um, always feel free to reach out to me via Teams or via email. And that's about it. We'll talk again in December. We'll have some end of year updates. We'll kind of hopefully get together in person for those of you who are able to. Um, and we will chat then. So have a great weekend, everybody. Stay warm because it's about to drop and winter is coming. Uh, so take care. See everybody soon. Let's go back to that. Let's mute my microphone. Bye, everybody.